I'm Brandon, and we're here at the Red House Radio with Dame Darcey Bussell.
Hiya.
Ellis.
Hi.
And Erin.
Hi.
So, how was your day here?
My day so far? Well, I've had a great morning. We were doing a diverse dance mix, which we call DDMIX for schools, which is a bit of a dance festival where we try and engage with as many state schools as possible to experience dance in a very inclusive environment. So it's very simple, but we go around the world and we give them a flavour of every culture. So from Bollywood to flamenco to line dancing to African to Japanese, Chinese, it's endless. But we also do the iconic eras. But it's just giving them a little flavour so that it can be part of physical education, not just a club-based thing. It's not about learning a skill of dance. It's just the enjoyment and the activity in itself.
Who inspires you to do what you do?
Who inspires me? Isn't that funny? I suppose at first, my first inspirations were my teachers. My second really was films. And I was really engaged in all the old dance films from the 1940s and 50s. And I just loved the production side of them, what they were able to produce with the lighting, costumes, the whole thing, I think, the whole drama and theatrical side of those films, and the music especially. And so it was those artists, people like Fred Astaire, which I don't know if you know who he is, but it was an iconic figure in the dance world that was so way ahead of his time. And he was he was a star way before he went into the movies, but he was just really creative and inventive with his choreography and what he wanted to produce as a dancer. So that was probably my most inspirational person that made me inspired to do a bit of that.
What compelled you to support the Borneo trip?
My involvement in schools now with DDMIX and just seeing kids inspired by different things and different environments and having different experiences as a whole, to have an advantage to go to Asia, kids that probably wouldn't have great holidays or even get on a plane to go places, to raise money for such an extraordinary experience, to see animals in their own habitat, the way they live, and that will last with you forever. And the respect you'll find out about nature and why it's there and why we've got to hold on to that is probably the most valuable thing any young person should experience and value.
What's the highlight of your career?
Difficult. I think the people I worked with, so the collaboration of different artists were some of the most inspiring times in my career. One choreographer comes to light straight away, a great choreographer called Sir Kenneth Macmillan, was probably the most realistic in the classical ballet world that brought ballet to gave it a trend again, and his works are done all around the world, and I got to physically work with him and create a couple of works with him. But I suppose if there was a moment, it was becoming a principal at the age of 20. My director announced that when I was on stage, and I was not expecting that. It was a big shock. So that was a massive step for me at a very young age. And then something like meeting the Queen was extraordinary, performing for her. And then possibly the other weird and wonderful thing where I retired as a dancer, I did a comeback for the closing ceremony of the Olympics. And that was a one-off that I wouldn't have believed would have happened. So there you go.
What is it like on Strictly?
What is it like on Strictly? Well, gosh. Many, many things. It's very nerve-wracking. It's very exhilarating. It's very enjoyable. There's many, many things. You have to be really alert because it's live television and there's so many people involved and so much to take in. But you have to be incredibly focused on your job and what you're delivering. But again, it's entertainment. So it has to be fun and enjoyable. So all that focus has to come with that understanding what the public are watching. So you're constantly thinking, but just keeping focused on what you're watching as well. I love it in a way that because I just love seeing people enjoy dance. And so it's a great show to be on because it celebrates dance. Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about DDMIX?
DDMIX, so it stands for Diverse Dance Mix. It was something that I really wanted to create, looking at my kids and how bored they were becoming with physical education. And then sort of with sports, having to try and engage with them, whether if they were any good at some sports and not some sports, or athletics and stuff, and realizing that I really needed to find other ways to engage them in enjoying being active. And so I really wanted to create something, and what I enjoyed obviously was music, and that's how that engaged me to be active and physically enjoy being physical. So I wanted to use music as that tool to engage with kids to be more active and physically enjoy all those different activities that are out there. And I knew it was being used in fitness a lot already, but I thought, well, why can't I use the skill that I've learned through dance and give them a little taster of that? Because all schools are so worldly national now, so we have so many cultures within our own schools, and I think that was really important to celebrate that at the same time. So I was just trying to join all those things together, and that's when DDMIX came about. But I also wanted it in the adult market, because I get bored very quickly. I get bored with knowing that I have to keep fit and my body needs to be strong so that I don't age, because I've done such an extreme art form as classical ballet. So I need to keep my body mobile and strong. So I wanted something that would not be an extreme fitness, but that would keep me ticking over. And I found that I wanted to create something like that would just be enough, but would entertain me at the same time. So I could laugh at it as well, not take myself too seriously. Really important.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming and helping us. And I'll see you down there in a bit, because I'll also be interviewing you down there. So
Oh, fab.
it'll be fun.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.